session mostly. After a.
And you tried to kill us again.
To be fair, I really only tried to kill Aaron.
No, I was at like 1 hit point.
But
I was down a lot.
You guys met a couple of local hermits, I guess? Nature hermits? Druids? Rangers? People... not like hermits. I'm going to say hermits. A couple of local hermits who fed you some information about the Sahagwin, and they had a friend they wanted to rescue, so you joined forces with them. Rescued Max and Balazar, as well as Byrne's mom and a couple of other folk who happened to have been captured by the Sahagwin. Went to town, you rested a few days, recovered, and then revisited the wreck of the Golden Crown. You defeated the Sahagwin and their leader at a brief and memorable encounter with some kind of undead wizard person, and recovered some stuff, survived to tell the tale, returned to the surface. So that's where we are now. You guys have emerged to the surface as the magic of Sari is starting to wear off, teeth chattering and cold. You climb back up to the cliff, and you complete a long rest and level up, and that's where we pick it up.
So, at the beginning of the day every day, I'm gonna add something to my morning routine. Not part of my ritual that I do, but I am going to cast water breathing on the party as a ritual. Every morning as a ritual, because it lasts 24 hours.
Because I can do that now.
I can do that now.
You sorcerers get ritual casting?
I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a wizard, dude.
Oh, that's right. You are. You're right.
I also think there are a few items that Balazar was gonna identify.
That is true. How many items were there for me to identify?
There's a magic cube and magic leather armor. I don't remember if there was anything else.
And as I recall, Brian, we have not encountered a pearl worth 100 gold yet, have we?
That is correct. There are some pearls worth 50 gold. You have not encountered any pearls worth 100 gold yet.
Well, we're done with everything here, right? We can go back to Neverwinter now?
Yep. Should you choose to. It's kind of up to you guys.
Well, I don't know that we're done with everything here. There's still the...
Let's go to Neverwinter. I'm tired of this place.
Alright. So there's the leather armor and the cube. I will...
Oh, and Jay's shield. If that hasn't been identified yet.
All right, we're gonna see how this goes. I might do all three, but with the shield, he's already using it, and it hasn't bound to him. So I would know at this point that it shouldn't be a cursed item.
What are we talking about?
The shield. Like the fact that
use it.
Well, I haven't
just
attuned
using
to
it,
it, so
as long as you haven't attuned to it, you wouldn't know. Just using it
curse
doesn't
wouldn't
necessarily
apply to something you weren't attuned to.
Okay.
And identify doesn't necessarily identify a curse either, by the way.
Sure. All right. I'm gonna identify the cube first, and I am going to. Oh wait, that didn't work. I'm going to take 8 damage. To use my blood in place of material components. So that hurt, but I identify the cube.
Oh yeah, we had item.
Can I just spend some time studying the leather armor just to try to figure out what it is? Since I have a background in leather working.
Okay, let's one thing at a time. You said you wanted to identify which one first? The
cube.
cube. All right. It is a cube of force, but it is
Oh, it's
currently broken.
Broken.
It needs to be fixed, so it won't work right.
Okay.
Aaron's
God.
almost excited.
Dude, cube of force is so strong.
I remember you used it in that one shot we played.
Yeah. And it saved our asses multiple times. Hmm. Do I know what it would require to fix it?
No, you don't. You'd have to spend some time with it, or take it to maybe somebody a little more potent.
Okay. Well, I later will spend some time with it, but for now I'll just put it in my pocket.
All right.
And I'll inform the group that this could be a very powerful thing to have if we can get it fixed.
Are we still underwater or are we back up?
Nope, you guys are on your cliff where you've just completed a long rest for the
Okay.
night. So anybody who had a point of exhaustion has one less point of exhaustion.
All right, so there was also the leather armor, and what else was there?
And then the shield.
Okay, Jay wanted to do something with the leather armor, so I will identify the shield next. And take another 6 damage to do it. So that'll put me at...
There you go.
Huh.
There's Psion.
Y'all get stunned for 1 minute because you psychic scream on us.
If it's Psychic Scream, we're not stunned for a minute. We're stunned until we make the save. And we're probably also dead from the damage. Okay. Oh, fuck. I need legend lore. I need legend lore to actually know whose shield this is.
It's ours now.
Well, I mean, do we want it to be ours?
Yeah.
The creator of the shield can see what the eye can see.
We'll put a sticky note over it. I don't think we want to just get rid of it.
I agree that we don't want to get rid of it, but it's also potentially very dangerous. We can assume that the creator of the shield is the guy on the boat, the undead guy on the boat. And I don't know if we want him seeing what we're seeing, or
Well,
him seeing us.
We have to run into him again at some point because we need to get Aaron's staff.
That's true, he does have my staff.
I stabbed the shield in the eye.
The dude's like, ow! Fuck!
Ah.
So, I would basically get that there's some sort of divination magical property.
Sure. Feel like you're being watched right now, even.
Balasar doesn't like that. He will of course inform the party of exactly what the shield does, and also inform them of his unease.
And you can, from time to time, literally see the eyeball just kind of looks around.
Yeah. Jay wanted to look at the leather armor, I think.
So, the the answer to that, Jay, is I'm gonna say right now no, because I need to really review how they've changed how they do that. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let him identify it for not without having to stab himself. But once I review the new rules in there on creating magic items and being able to use abilities other than Arcana to do so, we'll kind of reverse engineer that into things that you could maybe identify without Arcana if they're relevant to the ability that would have it to create them, if that makes sense.
So you're saying I identify it without stabbing myself for this
Correct, because according to the,
Okay.
the rules in Xanathar that Jay has looked at closer than I am, basically you.
Well, those are
So
just
if
for
you're
creating, that has nothing to
Right.
do with looking at.
But that goes both ways, right? If you have the ability to create magical armor, in theory, you also might have the knowledge to know what a magic armor is. Maybe not all of the time, but certainly a chance, right? And that's what a skill check is.
Well,
So-
you have some manner of expertise. It makes sense
Correct,
that you
yeah.
would be able to reverse engineer.
And so I know in Xanathars that if you're leatherworking like you have the ability to create leather armor. This is leather armor. It would make sense if you have the ability to create leather armor, you would have the chance to identify it. I just haven't gone through the trouble of doing that yet. So for now, we'll just give you guys a free identify on it, basically.
I won't say no. Saves me some hit points. Let's see how many hit points you saved me, Jay. 9!
I have
Very good.
a few armors in here. I need to make sure I'm giving you guys the right one here. So give me one moment.
I would have been down to 17 hit points.
Why does this guy keep stabbing himself? It's freaking weird.
But I only did it once. I just keep... More blood just keeps, like, magically coming out of the wound, and...
All right, here it is. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's not it. Here? Oh, yeah, here it is.
Mariner's armor. That gives you a swim speed.
It does.
And hopefully prevents you from drowning.
I would even say that part of the magic would be not only does it float you to the surface, but it puts you face up. It doesn't make any sense if it floats you to the surface, but your face is still stuck.
Right.
Go through all this in trouble of making leather armor, and it floats you to the surface where it just holds your head underwater and you drown anyway.
The real world is adding some atmosphere to our campaign.
Well, I think all of us would be interested in that.
Not really. Not if it's just
Balazar
if
wouldn't.
it's just basic leather.
It is just basic leather that gives you a swim speed.
Yeah. It's not worth the AC.
Although, if I recall, it doesn't require attunement. No, doesn't require attunement, so there's that.
I'll take it if no one else wants.
Balazar doesn't.
Go for it.
Yoink!
That'll actually be really good for you, too. You're the one who wants to get up into melee with things. It makes sense for you to have the mobility underwater.
And he's also the one who kind of changes armor depending on what he's under armor or underwater or not. So since it doesn't require attunement, he can actually swap out when you guys know you're going to be underwater and vice versa.
But it's not studded leather?
Nope.
Damn.
I know. No.
Hypothetically, maybe we could upgrade it. I don't know. I don't know if that's something Jay would be able to do with the crafting rules or not.
That is something that is going to go under the criteria of when Brian has a chance to look it up. We can answer that question.
Gotcha.
Highly doubt you can
But usually magic items can't be upgraded.
Yeah,
No.
change a magic item. Highly doubt it.
All right. Well, now
That
we
is
are.
that is one thing I liked better about 3.5 is you could have multiple enchants on a thing, and there was like a certain an enchantment would cost like a certain number of points. It's like Mariner's Armor would cost like 2 points or something like that, maybe, and then you could also enchant it to be plus whatever.
Right.
But oh well.
So you guys are now with a couple points of exhaustion. I think for 2 of you still are 2 points.
Am I exhausted?
Yeah, you had 3 points of exhaustion because that thing beat the snot out of you when you tried to steal a spell book.
Oh, okay.
I think it was you had 3, and I think Thomas had 3 as well. So you would now have 2 because you guys did finish a long rest.
Well, should we rest another day before going to the cave, or should we go now? The mine, I believe it was.
Well, we saved our friends. Why would we go there?
The Sahuagin will retaliate for our actions. I suspect that if we don't exterminate them now, the town will have to deal with the consequences.
For whatever it's worth, according to Jarl Frostgale before his untimely demise,
Who?
their lair was that ship, and you guys know you cleared that ship out.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
And
like,
Sahuagin are water creatures. You don't. It doesn't make sense that the Sahuagin be blaring in a mine, unless I suppose there was water in there or something. I guess you don't know. You haven't been in there, but
We know they are taking people to this place,
that you do know.
Yeah, they got some like weird ritual shit there.
possibly doing sacrificing, not sure.
Possibly magic items there. That's where they're doing sacrifices.
Metagame. Metagame. There's
No,
shit there.
No, they've got to have a magic dagger to sacrifice things. That's the sacrifice rules. There's always a magic sacrificial dagger.
So there's the cave. Is there anywhere else we haven't? Any other dangling threads we haven't really investigated?
The only dangling threads that you have are really the cave, which you're not sure what's going on with that. You have the quest turn-ins, which is Jarl Frostgale offered you guys a bounty for proof of killing the Sahuagin Baron.
well, we're not going to get that bounty.
I don't know.
You can probably get it from his son.
If it's from his son, you have the trident. You have proof that you killed him.
Oh, that's
If
true.
and if nothing else, his son will appreciate the revenge.
Correct. You do have to report to the king at the conclusion of your investigation of the mysterious ruins on the beach, which is the reason you were brought here in the first place. So you have a reward to collect there if he determines that you have completed your investigation satisfactorily.
And this is the king in the bigger city here on the island, or this is the king in Neverwinter?
The king of the island here, King Red
Okay.
Axe. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know how you guys feel about Granny Saltwood. If you feel that's a dangling thread, that I suppose could be a dangling.
Balazar does.
But there you go. That's kind of the things here.
Well, the other one is the undead dude.
The undead dude who swam off and you have no idea where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any point going into that cave. The Sahag wouldn't have been enough of a problem for us. I don't see why we need to continue to badger them. They're not part of our main mission here. I mean, if the king specifically wants to hire us to take care of the Sahagwin, then sure, you know.
I am wanting to know why they are doing sacrifices. I can see no other reason to take prisoners to this cave. It is being concerning to me. Perhaps we can bring this up to the Jarl, and he will be paying us for looking.
Okay.
Well, you guys do still need to rest for a couple of days, assuming you want to go in there in tip-top shape. So seems to be town will be the place to go anyway.
Is that where
We're
the
resting
Jarl
it.
is?
Yeah.
Jarl is in Fiskerbach. Yep. The new Jarl is his younger son, Thorum.
Alright.
If we are resting in the town, also if the town is attacked, we are being there to defend.
So is that our destination then? Back to Fiskerbach?
Well, we need to turn in the Trident anyway.
Works for me.
All right. So you guys head back to Fiskerbach. The mother Rimwave, whose name I'm forgetting. Let me look it up real quick. What is her name? Might be- and- Oh, because it is. Odd. Well, Byrne's mother is you guys are basically welcome to crash at their house. Westra, there we go. Westra Rim Wave allows you guys to continue just basically crashing at their place while you're in town. So you have a place to go. When you go see Thorum, he accepts proof of the Baron's demise and will give you your said reward as long as you relay to him the experience of what you guys did down there. So assuming you tell him the tale, what you guys did down there, he'll honor the bounty.
Of course, and I will also ask him specifically about the undead dude and if there's any legends or anything pertaining to him.
He says, no, I've never heard of such a thing. Sounds terrifying.
He is seeming to be very powerful.
But at the conclusion of your reciting your tale of valor in the ruins or the wreckage of the Golden Crown, he gives you each 100 gold pieces, as promised, for killing the Sahagwin Baron.
Jarl, might I make a request?
Of course.
In lieu of material gold, do you have a pearl that would be worth 100 gold pieces to you?
We do not really have any valuables of that nature here in our town. We're just a small fishing village.
Gold will do fine then.
He does ask if you were able to find his father's remains.
Were we?
You were not.
All we found was like a crate full of hands, I think.
Did any of the hands look like his father's?
You guys kind of looked through them, but you weren't sure.
I'll tell him we found the crate full of hands, but nothing beyond that. And we couldn't tell if any were the Jarls.
He kind of nods. Oops, sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
I will also bring up to him that they seemed to be taking people to this mine, like transporting people there. And we don't know why, but Balazar's going to throw out there, maybe they're doing ritual sacrifices there, and maybe there's some other bad shit going on there. Do you want us to take a look?
He says, well, my father always said that place was cursed, and I think it is as well. I don't know why they would go there. To my knowledge, the mine entrance is collapsed and not even accessible. We're used to them making sacrifices for as long as we've known them. They usually do it in their home in the ocean. I don't know why they would take prisoners. That is a new thing. They've never done that. As long as I've been alive, I've never heard of them actively taking prisoners that way.
Me and Maximilian were being taken this way when we were rescued.
You said you killed them all, right, though?
All of the ones that we found. There could be more in the mine. We don't know.
I would certainly not go there. If you want to look, you're welcome to do it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
If we are finding more, Is there a way you could be rewarding us?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm but the leader of a local fishing village here. My wealth is limited, even though relatively I'm a fairly wealthy man. But if you find any of our missing people, we still have a number of our friends and family from Fiskerbach who are still missing, including Byrne's father. If you were to find any of them alive or even their remains, I would certainly be willing to give a letter to bring to the king suggesting that he increase your reward for the investigation that he has already hired you for.
I am understanding. Thank you.
As well, unfortunately, we don't have my father's remains to commit to the sea, so we will have to instead make him a pillar of valor. It will take a day or two for us to resurrect it, but when we do, you're welcome to attend the ceremony in my family's altar. He says, unless you have anything else to attend, I have matters to attend to.
Damn it, we're being guilt-tripped into going to this funeral.
Is that Baldrum or Thomas?
Thomas. Baldrum's like, we will attend. Thank you.
Yep. I guess if we were going to rest a couple days and get our exhaustion gone, I would spend the time looking at the cube and trying to figure it out.
Make an Arcana check.
I will guide myself.
You
29.
You are pretty sure you know how to fix it, but it would require some amount of time and 500 gold pieces worth of arcane materials.
Okay.
How much you say?
500 gold pieces worth of arcane materials, which we are not going to be able to get on this island, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
That is
probably
probably
not
a
until we
pretty-
go back to Neverwinter.
pretty accurate statement.
If there are any, we would have to find them. Like, they wouldn't be for sale anywhere. Unless the granny had some, but even then, I kind of doubt it.
Do Dragonboard and Tails count as arcane items?
I guess that depends on what kind of magic you're practicing.
What, are you wanting me to shed my tail?
We just chop up Palazar's tail a couple of times until we reach 500 gold's worth.
I don't think Balazar would take too kindly to that.
It'll grow back.
Will it?
I have no clue.
Sounds good, though.
Well, do we want to go check out this cave?
Yeah.
The mine?
Sure. I mean, I'm down. If we're gonna do that, though, if we're on a time limit, I need to rest because I have a lot of
Well,
exhaustion still.
Me too. Yeah, I have two levels of exhaustion. I thought we were going to rest for 2 days, pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, if we're doing that, then I'm down.
Because the Earl was saying there might still be people there that need rescuing too.
There are still some missing persons, yep, that they don't know their whereabouts.
And I don't think we have any other leads to where those missing people might be.
Also, were we given specifics on what we were supposed to find out with the investigation of that ship that crashed?
Just that we were supposed to investigate it.
And figure out what was going on with it as best that you could.
Would we know that some of the people, well,
We
I
had
don't-
found
I don't-
out that it was something that seemed to be coming from the Underdark. Because of the writing on the side?
Yeah, because it was in Undercommon.
And people that go near it might turn into squid head thing people.
Yeah, we haven't drawn the connection. Been able to draw the connection yet that tadpole equals mind flayer if it's implanted in a human or humanoid.
Oh, when did we get all the way to the 9th?
Time flies.
Last I checked, we were at the 2nd.
Well, remember last week it wasn't working.
It wasn't
You
working
guys-
last week.
You guys had to wait a few days because after you rescued Max and
Okay.
Balazar, they each had 3 or 4 points of exhaustion to wear off.
Okay. Yeah, because I had checked it even this morning and it was at the 2nd.
That's because I just updated it before the session. Because
Okay, so is
wasn't
that
working
before we take the 2 days to rest and shake off your exhaustion?
The 9th is the day you wake up after, the day after going down there. So that's after one long rest, waking up, leveling up
Okay.
at level 5.
So then we're gonna. Oh, and we did level up to level 5.
Correct, you did.
So so then we're gonna take 2 days, and then we're gonna go to the mine then on the 11th.
Yeah,
plan?
I mean, there's still people that need to be found and rescued, and it's if they can, and that's our only lead. It also potentially because there's people that need to be found and rescued, and that seems to be tied to the crash. You could argue that that's also doing due diligence on investigating the crash.
Okay.
Just wondering, how close is that crash to the mine?
That's a good question.
Close-ish. Basically, the town of Fiskerbach, the wreck was about an hour's walk to the north, would be northwest. No, I'm sorry, northeast. And then the mine was southeast about an hour away. So they're all like the town and each of the 2 sites are all about an hour's walk to each other, kind of in a triangle. So they're all fairly close.
And the Sahagwin ship, where is it in relation?
They're
Okay.
the ship is kind of the triangle. The mine is on the way to the ship.
The mine is on the way to the ship. So the
Yeah,
mine is
so-
between Fiskerbach and the Sahagwin ship.
So there's your town. Let's say. Here's the wreck
Okay.
that you investigated.
Right.
There's the Golden Crown, and then the mine is like slightly off to the side here. So you kind of have to walk by the wreck to get to the mine. And they're all, each of those circles in the triangle is like an hour walk to each other, basically.
Okay, so not very far at all, like a
Right,
mile or
so-
2.
An hour walk, an hour walk,
Yeah,
an hour walk, 20 minutes off the path.
gotcha. Okay.
That's fine.
So is that what you guys are going to do? You're going to hang out for a couple days, recover, and then go investigate the mine?
Yep, let's do it.
Um, so
And if we don't find anything there, I think it's time to go back to the king and say, yeah, we checked everything out, man. Here's what we found.
And then we retire. Venture over.
So you guys complete 2 full rests. Everybody should have their all of their exhaustion recovered, feeling better. And anything you want to do before leaving town, you have all your weapons and armor. You guys did update your own money with what Thorum gave you, right?
Yep.
He gave us 100, right?
100 each, yeah, 100 each.
We're rich.
We're rich! Rich, I say! Oh, the last night before you guys leave, though, they do have the memorial service for Jarl Frostgale, and apparently without his remains to inter into the sea. Instead, they have like a candlelight vigil, or all of the members of the community who want to, they go kind of high up into the mountains, into this kind of forest glade, where there are like a number of like large, sort of natural-looking stone rocks of various sizes. And then as you get up close to them, you realize that each of these stone pillars has like the story of somebody's life. And so instead of memorializing them in the sea, they memorialize them in the rocks. They write down their deeds of valor and all the things. And kind of reading it, you get the feeling that it's a little bit exaggerated, probably, and they're tales of valor.
Baldrum steps in. I don't believe that.
That's bullshit.
The fish was how big? Absolutely not.
And the same woman from before sings what you gather to be some kind of a prayer to their ancestors or to their gods. And the prayer, they say, changes a little bit differently. That you get the vibe that this ceremony is a little different than the sea ones. That they almost have to like ask for a favor for their ancestors to allow their fallen family member into the halls of their ancestors without their remains, rather than just kind of dedicating it to it that way. So it's kind of a slightly different ceremony. You get the vibe basically without the remains, they feel like it's less likely that their ancestors will be allowed into the halls of valor. And so once again, everyone goes up there with their candles, they sing the prayer, they state their dedications to their gods, and then everyone swaps stories about Jarl Frostgale, and was very well respected. You get from talking to him, he wasn't I don't want to say he was unpopular, but he wasn't particularly charismatic or nice. But he was well respected by his people, and they felt by and large he looked after them, even if he was a bit rough around the edges.
I mean, we kind of got that vibe from him when we met him.
Sure. And so you walk back through the forests, and it's coming to the end of the winter season, so you're starting to get a little bit of a snow melt off the mountains. The paths getting a little muddy and kind of sloshing through them as the snow melts. And you head back with the villagers, who by now are, a little more comfortable with you guys. They're definitely an exotic group from what they're used to. I think is a fair way to say that.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
And let me find where I put this, and then we will move on to the next.
Jay, I have a question. Have you ever made your or can you even make your little pet dragon metallic? Or does he have to be chromatic?
Chromatic.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I would have resummoned him in those couple of days, certainly.
Sure.
It's a shame you can't make it metallic. That would provoke a very interesting reaction from Balazar.
Balazar's dragon racist.
All Dragonborn are dragon racist.
That seems derivative.
So you arrive in town after the ceremony. You complete your long rest. It is now the 11th, the day you have decided to be the day that you will investigate said mines. Anything you would like to do before heading off to said accursed mines that you've been warned repeatedly to stay away from?
Is there a blacksmith in town?
There probably would not be, actually, no.
Well, never mind.
It's an extraordinarily small fishing village.
I will cast water breathing as a ritual on all of us.
All right. Which armor are you wearing, Baldrum?
I am wearing my mariner's armor.
So you guys have a hearty breakfast. Make sure you stretch. Get all limbered up. And set out on the path after a short walk to a fairly warm day with a light breeze coming off the ocean. You break off the main path and walk a short while past the site of the ambush that still has the evidence of the battle there with the Sahagwan bodies and the blood. And arrive.
Does it look like it's been picked over or messed with at all?
Make a survival check.
By something with intelligence? 12.
Doesn't appear to be so.
Okay.
And as you approach the end of the mountain trail, you see a pile of discarded mining equipment, pickaxes, carts, sledgehammers. The items are all extraordinarily rusted, far beyond use. But they seem to be a scattered trail of them leading down a pathway, overgrown. And as you scan the path, you notice the path leads to the base of a rocky outcrop, which has caved in where it meets the trail.
Does it look impassable?
Go check it out.
Can I look for any other trails that might diverge? See if the Sahagwan went through some other entrance.
Absolutely. Make a wisdom check.
Like a
I'm
perception?
sorry, survival check. That'd be survival check.
18.
The only thing you find, Max, are
Oh, I would guide him. So take a d4.
slightly older Sahagwan tracks around the entrance to the mines. And as best as you can tell, just local animals around there. So you don't see any Sahagwan tracks outside of the trail that leads to the mine entrance, basically.
And does that change with a 20?
Does not, nope.
Okay.
If I
But-
touch the rocks, are they actually there?
You touch the rocks and they are definitely there, yes.
But the Sahagwan tracks lead to the rocks.
They do.
So
Is it-
it looks... Sahagwan are medium, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Does it look like there's any gaps that we could get through? Or it looks like it's completely closed off because of the rocks?
I wonder if the only way in is under the water.
There do appear to be some gaps in the cave-in. It's not like a solid wall of rock. If you wanted to, you could try to squeeze through them, see if it goes all the way through.
How stable does it look?
You think some of the rocks could also be moved, so maybe some amount of instability.
Okay.
They did have a cast that was making it look like they weren't leaving a trail. Maybe they did some magic stuff to move the rocks.
You would be needing a specific type of spell to do such a thing. It's not impossible, but I am not knowing if these Sahagwin are so sophisticated in their magics.
Does it look like it would be hard for us to just dig out the entrance with the rocks?
You could try to start moving some rocks around, see if that gets you anywhere.
Yeah, but if it goes wrong, then they collapse again, and then it becomes really impassable.
We'll probably just have to go through the water. I'd imagine there's an underwater entrance somewhere.
Well, how far inland is this place, Brian?
It's a small island, so nothing is very far inland. Having said that, it's a little bit of a hike. It's not particularly close to the ocean, as far as being on this island goes, and it's also kind of up in the mountain a little bit. So
Yeah, there's not an underwater entrance to that.
It's above sea level by a fair amount.
Yeah, there's no way there's an underwater entrance to that.
And we can't see any way that the Sahagwin would lead prisoners into this cave.
Nothing that you see. All you see so far is that you think you might be able to move some of the rocks, or at least it's possible to, or possibly you could squeeze through some of the rocks if you are not claustrophobic and are willing to risk it.
Well, if we try moving the rocks, well, we need to decide: do we want to squeeze through or move the rocks?
Squeeze through.
Oh, okay.
I'm tiny.
You're not tiny. You're small, or you're medium. You're a dwarf. You're a medium.
I'm medium, but I'm small.
Medium.
I'm a small medium.
Small medium.
I'm a slim fit.
Are you wanting to go first, Baldrum?
So just to kind of let you know, you can. There's a few different checks. Somebody can make a strength check to try to clear out some of the rocks. You can make a dexterity check to try to squeeze through the rocks.
What was the first option?
Strength check. You can make an intelligence check to attempt to discern which rocks might be more easily removed than others. And you can make a constitution check to, like, deadlift a huge load of rocks, basically. You need to succeed on 3 before you fail on 3 in order to get through.
And is it just straight strength, or is it athletics?
Strength, straight strength, straight dex, straight con.
Oh, that's so much worse.
And there's also, I'm sorry, actually, the intelligence is investigation, so not straight intelligence. And there you can also make a survival check to try to gauge which parts of the entrance appear most prone to cave in.
Okay. I rolled a 14 investigation.
So, Balazar, you were successful in determining which rocks appear most safely to move out of the way first. So that is 1 success.
I'll point those out, and whoever is going next, I will guide you.
I guess I'll go next.
Oh, add a d4. $11.
Balazar is not able to remove some of the rocks, leading to a partial cave-in, undoing some of the successes of the
You mean Baldrum?
Baldrum. What did I say? Did I do it again? Son of a biscuit.
Son of a Baldrum.
That's right.
I guess I
Okay.
could do a survival check since it's re-caved in, see if it's still the best spot.
Add a
Okay.
d4, so. Oh, there you go.
Don't even worry about that.
Nat 20.
So, Max is able to, after watching the partial cave-in from Baldrum, he's able to kind of analyze the way the rocks are coming in and kind of figure out maybe the best way to proceed in getting past this cave-in. So you now
Okay.
can attempt to squeeze through some of the rocks or remove some of the rocks.
And the remove this time would be con.
Correct.
I can do that.
I could also.
I have a +3 con, but then there's also Dex, which I imagine our rangers are both very good at.
Jay is more dexterous than I.
Get it, Jay. It's all you,
Oh,
bud.
actually, I apologize. One moment. Also, Baldrum, we're gonna retcon it a little bit. I need you to make a strength or dexterity throw, your choice, to avoid getting crushed, trapped, or otherwise partially collapsed in on.
I think I'm trapped.
In the partial cave-in, as the rocks slam down on you, partially crushing you, you do manage to get out without being like pinned in there, but you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
The cave attacked me.
Perhaps it is cursed.
I think you just moved the wrong rock there.
We need to go get some hirelings to clear this shit out for us, boys.
Get
No,
some
we
more
just-
townspeople. They haven't suffered enough.
We just need one more success and we're good. We need a Dex one and we need or a con one.
Jay, you do one.
Well, what would you guys like me to try to do?
Dex it. You do Dex.
There, I dexed it.
Oh wait, you get to add a D4 for guidance. Guess I'll roll it. 16.
Okay, I need you to make either a dexterity or strength saving throw, your choice.
Well, the 16?
With 16. You are able to avoid the partial cave-in. You are not able to find a way through. As best you can tell, the only way is to clear out a large number of rocks at the same time. Without
And
that would be a Constitution check.
who's got the highest con? I've got a 3.
I've got a 3.
2.
I'll guide you, Marcus.
Alright. Come on, Con. Don't fail me right now like you're going to.
Oh no!
You guys rolled
An 8.
terrible.
Oh, we
Make
rolled really
a-
well on our
That's
bless.
just the way this campaign's going.
I know, man. Make a dexterity or strength saving throw. Max? You are not pinned inside, but you do take 15 points of bludgeoning damage. And as best you can tell, this cave entrance is impassable.
Well, I think this is a sign that we all belong back in Neverwinter.
So, I have one more thing I could try. Levitate lets me move 500 pounds of shit. Could I move 500 pounds of rocks?
You could?
Would that
Absolutely.
make it passable?
You think so, but you're really not sure how deep it is, so you'll only know if you try.
I will levitate 500 pounds of rocks.
That's a lot of rocks.
At the end of your spell, you are pretty sure you've cleared out enough for you guys to crawl past into the mine. It is also completely dark inside with no sources of light.
That's fine by me. I'll go first.
If you could do that, Balazar, why were we trying to move the rocks by hand?
I can only be using spells limited times per day.
It seems like this would have been a great use of time. Leotel and I would not be injured.
Oh, I'm Leodil now, aren't I?
I pointed at which rocks you should not move. You chose not to move them.
You pointed from 15 feet away. There's a lot of rocks. I couldn't tell which one you meant.
This is your doing, not mine.
You could have marked them with chalk or something.
I am not having chalk.
Let's get some chalk.
Well, is somebody going to attempt to crawl in first?
Yep, I'm going.
Balazar, you crawl inside.
I'm not Balazar.
Son of a... It's your guys' fault.
It's not. It was an accident.
Hey, you could have killed one of them. It's your fault.
You know what? That might happen now.
You know what? I feel like Brian's had enough time to get used to it. The fact that he has it, it's no longer our fault. I'm in danger.
By the way, this ambiance is much lower than the last one, so you probably need to turn up a little bit. Let me get you guys sitting here. Is Rex summoned yet, Leah, or no?
Yep. Rex has been with us.
All right. Ball drum.
It's like the first time you've got it right all campaign, Brian.
Thin shards of light pierce the darkness into this empty chamber from cracks in the rock above. The scarce light illuminates 4 stone pillars covered in engravements. And at the far end of the hall are a pair of stone doors, around 8 feet tall, with thick handles of brass. FYI, unless otherwise noted, the walls and ceiling of this mine are stone, and the ceilings are 20 feet high. Let me bring up the map for a moment so you guys can see. So there you are.
Okay, I would wait there for everyone else to climb through.
Is everyone
That
else
was
climbing through?
loud thunder. Yeah, I would go through, and I would bring out dancing lights.
All right. Apparently it's raining outside because there was thunder.
That rain came on quickly and without warning.
It is prone to doing this on islands.
I wonder if this storm is an act of some nefarious magic by the Sahuagin. We should hurry.
I'll wait for everyone else to climb through.
All right.
So I'm going to
Everyone
go.
else climbs through successfully.
Once we're inside, I'm going to go investigate these pillars and see if there's any writing or what they are.
There is writing on them for sure. You can make an intelligence check. History, if you're proficient in it. I think that's one in this, right? His history one?
It is.
Yeah, history's
Yeah.
not
So if you have history, you make a history check. You were not sure. They're old. God, you have a +6, you rolled an 8.
Technically a 10 with guidance.
It's still just old. This is the double-headed door, by the way. I know there it's a little hard to see. Currently closed, but it's a heavy wooden door with brass handles.
And is there any writing on the door, above the door, next to the door?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Do I know what language the writing is or what it says, or do I just not know what it's talking about?
It's not so much writing as like carvings. So you're not really sure what they're supposed to communicate.
I like pictures. Can I check?
Sure, make a history check.
I am not proficient at it. Does that matter?
That's okay.
I will guide you.
70.
What you learn is that the stone is not from here. It is actually from the Kalashite area, and the carvings are from humans, probably of the Kalashite culture.
I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier, but I forgot. Can I assist him with this? Because I do have stone cunning. So I
Sure.
know about
So-
stone really good.
Same thing. The motifs are
Okay, I just didn't know if there's anything extra.
of Kalashite origin, and you would kind of looking at them, you speculate they're almost like they're trying to make like charms, like kind of
Sure.
fortune and good luck in the mining operation.
Gotcha.
Any way to tell how old?
Very old, very
Okay.
very old. Hundreds of years old.
I start trying to break the pillars. No, not really.
Okay, and is there any iconography on the door?
There's
Nope.
not.
Okay.
Well, Belgium, I think you're up.
I guess I'll start looking at the door and see. Yeah, I'll start looking at the door and see if there's any kind of traps or anything gnarly like that on it.
Make an investigation check. You
And
can tell.
wait,
You
I got a D.
not rolling well.
I got a D4 coming. 19.
As best you can tell, the door is unlocked but stuck and not trapped.
I'm gonna open the door.
Okay, make a strength check.
Can it be athletics?
Sure, athletics.
My
I will
athletics
guide you.
is so much better than my strength, Brian.
I don't think I need to guide you.
I don't think it would have mattered. They
I don't think
resist
you're
the first,
capable of guiding me.
but you pushing open one door or both.
Baldrum's a two-door kind of guy.
All right, you shove open both doors. They resist for a moment and then kind of swing. You can hear them kind of rust or kind of groan on their hinges. And how far is your dark vision?
It's a good question.
I think it's 60, right?
Probably 6 is the standard.
Some only get 30.
Yeah, some do get only at 30. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's 60.
So that would take you to about here. And one moment. There's apparently a dog inside.
This dog follows us everywhere,
know,
from the
everywhere.
tavern to.
The dog is actually a like an archdemon, just in dog form.
Fluffy the archdemon's been trapped in the body of a dog.
We found out it's actually Nicole's character.
What actually happened is Bell, the archdevil, after his fight in Avernus, got sealed inside of a tiny Pomeranian.
So Baldrum, you'd be there if you open the door.
You drop a detect thoughts on the dog, you're like, free me, mortal.
As you're kind of your eyes settle, on the corridor ahead of you. There's a number of stairs that descend downward, and as your eyes adjust, you notice what appear to be a group of really large, fat rats that appear to have exposed brains scurrying away from you.
I'm sorry?
Oh yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna.
They're running away from me?
They're scurrying away from you, yes.
Or just say,
The creatures from the ship, they must have passed through here.
When he says that, I'm gonna send the dancing lights where he's looking.
Okay.
So I can see one of those things. Can I grab one with Mage Hand?
I think you can. Can you grab a rat with mage hand?
I don't know.
How
You
much
can
does a
lift
rat? How much does a rat weigh?
Less than
I mean,
5 pounds.
Less than 5 pounds for sure, even a big one.
New York rat.
Can I? Can I retcon and say I was doing something in this room earlier as well?
Depends on what the retcon is.
Looking to see if there are any like Sahagwin tracks. See if we can see if they actually
Oh, sure,
came through
yeah.
this entrance.
Make a survival check. We'll say you're doing that as Baldrum's opening the door.
Alright.
You do not see any Sahagwin tracks in here. However, you do see what appear to be human-sized boot tracks.
Humans.
Okay.
Human-sized things.
Do they go to the door?
They go from the door where Baldrum is standing to the cave entrance.
Baldrum would
Okay.
posit to the group that perhaps the things from the ship that we didn't find bodies of had come to the mine. Since they all have the same brain-type creature things.
Well,
Post Mage Hand, Aaron, to try to do that.
all right.
That's what Baldrum thinks is happening. He thinks the brain thingies came here.
Max is
Brain
with you
stuff.
on that one.
And certify the hand bench. You can use your action to control the hand. You can either manipulate an object, open and unlock a container, store or retrieve an item from an open container for the vial. The hand can't attack. So I would consider that a grapple attack. So
Yeah,
I would say no.
that's fair.
Okay.
I was
Well,
going to have
then,
you roll a spell attack to try to grab one, but since it explicitly says the hand can't attack, I would say no.
then I will mind sliver one of them.
Oh god.
Okay.
Just one of the rats.
Out of
What's the
everything,
save on
we
that?
die because we get swarmed by rats.
It's a DC 14 intelligence save. +2? Really?
They seem to be running
Those are
around
some
the corner.
intelligent rats.
Yeah, no damage happens.
I suggest we proceed cautiously while we're going through this place. That way, none of those things might jump on top of us or anything. Keep an eye through cracks and holes in the walls.
Balazgar is gonna say,
These are being unusually intelligent rats. They might be intelligent enough to be warning masters of theirs, potentially.
These are big brain rats.
I did say they have exposed brains, supposedly.
I know another big brain rat, but he's not here.
Well, then, should we hurry? Or.
They seem to have disappeared around the corner.
Schnicket is everywhere.
Biggest rat brain! No rat more intelligent.
yeah, I guess. I mean, if we're detected, there's no time like the present. I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and cast a Cure Wounds on myself.
All right.
Ugh. Maybe one more. since we're not moving or anything right now.
You guys are just like standing at the threshold of this door, like, you go first. No, you go first.
Pretty much, we see rats.
This is some old school D&D shit, Brian. We're checking every 5 feet for traps. Look what you've done. You've created an old school D&D session.
I'm just waiting for Baltram to move forward. He's
Right?
Baldwin's waiting for Balazar to say it's okay to move forward.
Well, as we move forward, Balazar will try to keep a very open eye out and make sure there's no traps anywhere. Just kind of as we're going. So I guess he would probably be beside Baldrum, but he's not going to be behind Baldrum.
I'm gonna make sure rats don't jump from the ceiling on top of them, try and dig inside their brains.
Take a
As
peek
they're walking.
around the corner.
So you descend down an unlit stairway for perhaps 10 minutes. This is the stairway you guys are at. Each footstep echoes down the long, black, dark stairway. To one side of the stairs is a rail for mine carts that appears to be connected to some kind of pulley system. After several minutes, you emerge into an enormous natural cavern. A huge crevasse below you is spanned by a pair of rickety-looking wooden walkways anchored to a central pillar of stone. The crevasse itself is at least 50 feet deep and has dozens of crevices chiseled into the walls where miners have dug for veins of once precious materials. To the right of you is a man-made tunnel leading into the rock, and over the crevasse is a wide, semi-natural tunnel leading further down into the mountain. In one moment, and I will reveal the map to you.
I know where this is going. I'm gonna look on the ceiling for a roper.
Alright, so
I'm not as worried about ropers right
You want
now.
me to
I'm
click
worried
on that?
about other things.
Brian throws a roper at us at level 5. We're just dead. He
I'm
just
also
hates
looking for
us.
the Elfin Hulk.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so about there.
That's a Kuros exclusive. It's not here. It's not part of the setting.
Let's see.
That we know of.
It's true. Brian could yoink it.
This should be about 60. We're not going to go crazy with the measurements here, but no, and I will actually reveal this too. This looks like a. Whoop, come on, meow. This appears to be a corridor.
Right.
I want to specifically say that I'm paying more attention behind us than in front of us while we're walking through.
Okay.
If that makes any difference throughout the start there.
You never know, it might.
I don't like you, Brian. Everything in this campaign is scary and wants to hurt us and can hurt us.
So basically, what you can kind of tell is this is like an edge. It goes into like a deep crevasse, as described, and there's like a ledge here that's about 30 feet down, and then from where you are, you can't tell, but there appears to go deeper even further.
Bottom's just gonna take a good look around. I got 60 feet of dark vision. Just
Make
gonna
a
take a
perception
moment and look
check.
for stuff.
While he's doing that, I've got 120 feet that dancing lights can go.
Okay.
I'm going to send them out 120 feet, pretty much 360 degrees.
All right.
And just
There's a door there.
and
No
I would
RSD,
make
So I'm trying to highlight them in red. For
What
you.
do the doors look like, Brian?
Oh, I just
wood,
highlighted one.
wood, stone.
Wood. They're wood.
Okay.
Yeah. Wood doors. Old, but they appear to be in shape. So you're just kind of sending lights all over, basically.
yeah, 120 feet in every direction,
All right. Let's see how far that is.
including up.
All right. Well, it's only 20 feet up, so that's no problem there.
Okay.
Okay. I think that should give you pretty much this room.
And I only rolled an 11 perception. I'm rolling really bad tonight, Brian.
You're not the only one.
You dick.
I wrote both a nat 1 and a nat 20, so good. I'm due for some good old middle ground rolls.
I don't think I've rolled above 10.
All right. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. So in the middle here, there's a pair of old wooden bridges that lead to a stone pillar in the middle that is the same height of the cave that you're in. It appears that this is about 30 feet down, and then it goes another 30 feet down.
And is this giving off a red glow down here?
That is giving off a red glow down there. Do you send the dancing lights into the crevasse?
After I scoped out the room, I would move towards the edge and kind of carefully peer over and send the dancing lights into the crevasse. Yes.
As the dancing lights go down, you see a number of insect-like creatures skittering around, reacting to the light at the bottom of the cave, 60 feet down, not 30.
Do I recognize them?
Make a nature check.
They're more mind rats.
5. I got no
You do
idea.
not recognize them.
I will.
Are their brains exposed?
Their brains are not exposed. They appear to be. What's the best way to describe these little guys? Actually, they're not very little, but. How do I do that?
It's not uncommon for insects to not have brains and just have a central nervous system.
Baldwin would add.
They kind of appear to be almost like have a natural armor on them. They're insectoid. They walk on 4 legs.
Okay.
And then there is a tunnel over here that appears to go deeper into the mountain.
Baldwin would advocate that we take the door before we deal with the hole monsters.
Door, some kind of cavern or entrance or something down here. You can't really tell from up here. Radiating a reddish light. Tunnel that goes deeper into the mountain, or so it appears. There are ladders down.
I will. Before we go into the door, I want to.
Oh,
Be
and
like-
also, sorry, one more thing.
Oh, okay.
And in this corner here, this appears to be like a slag heap where a bunch of discarded rock that they've mined out when they dug out the tunnels, they kind of threw into the corner. It's got some kind of old rusted out shovels and carts. So it kind of looks kind of like a refuse pile they piled in the corner here.
That's over here.
Correct.
Balazar will kind of quietly, because I imagine sound's going to carry really well in here,
As it echoes very much so.
to Leodel and Max say,
There are being bug creatures at the bottom of this crevasse. Have either of you ever seen?
I will walk up and look over.
You may make a nature check to see if you know what those are.
I will guide you.
Is Max a ranger?
Yes,
We have 2 rangers,
18.
we do.
and last time you guys both played monks.
This has been discussed before.
I don't know why it didn't click with me until right now.
You, Max, you identify those creatures as rust monsters.
Ah, fuck you, Brian. What's your problem?
They are usually docile, but they like to eat metal, and they're kind of nasty.
Brian, what's your problem, man? What do we do? What did we do to you?
I would let Balazar know this. If we need to, we can use Baldrum as bait.
We
That's
could
irrelevant.
be using metal to
Sure.
distract them, perhaps, and they will not be hostile to us.
Where's
You get
Bastion when you need him?
The way they
Right.
reacted to the
Kick
dancing
Bastion
light,
down there.
you have a feeling they haven't really
Clank,
seen
clank,
it
clank,
in a
clank.
long time. Kind of like roaches in a light, when they reacted.
Yeah. So are they running to or away from the light?
They kind of just scattered like they were, they're not particularly intelligent creatures.
Sure.
So it's just kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive response. There's a word that's not coming to my mind.
Instinctive.
Thank you. Instinctual response to the light. It was kind of freaking out for a second.
Okay.
But I mean, it would make sense that an abandoned mine with all of this kind of metal type stuff laying around,
Sure.
that it would
Yeah.
draw some of these creatures into here. And you imagine that's probably what they've been feeding off of.
I
It
will.
looks like we got about 3 options here. We can either go down, door to the left, or over here in that hallway.
I'm gonna check this door for traps. 26. I got a good roll.
As best you can tell, it is not trapped, but it is locked. And the door appears to be in very good shape.
In very good shape.
Good shape.
There is a door over here. It is being locked, but I see no traps. Shall we look inside?
Baldwin will look inside.
It's locked.
Bam!
You can try to force it open, sure.
I got the key right here.
I'm gonna be watching
That's too
over
sassy. Baldwin doesn't
here.
say that.
Yeah, I'll watch everywhere else. Make sure
You
nothing
can
starts
try to-
scaring at us.
Break the door down with an athletics check.
Add a D4 for guidance.
$22.
Are you shouldering it or kicking it?
Kick.
You kind of take a step back, brace yourself, and put a big dwarven boot into the door. It shatters off its hinges, smashes backwards. You find yourself in a room that has been cut into the rock. Resting against the walls are racks of pickaxes, sledgehammers, chisels, and other mining tools. Stacked up in the far corner are half a dozen mine carts. To the left is a desk, which lie upon a small number of metal ingots. I pronounced Sahagwin correctly, but probably not that.
No, that's right. Ingots. If only you could pronounce our characters' names right, Brian.
I don't do that. I
He
don't do
pronounces them right. He just says it for the wrong person.
I'll send the dancing lights in.
One moment here. Let me reveal this to you guys. So there is a door here.
There's another door?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this appears to be like a giant safe door, but it is partially open. So it's already been opened.
I am being right behind you.
I look at all this stuff.
All right.
Once we check the room and make sure that it's clear, I want to check everything in the room. I want to investigate the whole room.
All right, let's start with the room you guys just walked into. Who is it that said is looking through this room? Was that Baldrum?
Yeah, I'm just looking in the mine carts, looking around, looking for goodies.
Baldrum-
All of the mining equipment is clearly rusted and in disuse. It's not in any kind of shape. On the desk are 12 iron ingots, 3 gold ingots. If you were so inclined, you might be able to cobble together enough tools to make one smith's set of tools if you wanted to go through them and find the ones in the best shape.
Sure.
It'll take a few minutes, so if you want to sit here going through those, you can.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush.
If it wasn't clear, when you smashed in that door, it was very loud and echoed through this entire place.
Cool. Love that.
There wasn't any way we were getting.
Somebody
into
keep
there
a watch.
quiet. I think Max already is, and maybe Leodel too. Once I've determined that the room is not, there's nothing about to attack us in the room, I would like to just do an investigation on the entire room.
Okay. In the adjacent room, the circular iron door is ajar. It's about 5 feet across. Beyond this is a vault, which appears to have been plundered. There are 2 long trunks on either side of the room, which have been cracked open. They appear to have been rummaged through, but it appears as if whoever came in here did not take all of the items.
What items are in there?
But you would have to go in there and look to find out.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
While he is checking the room, I'm gonna start ritually casting an alarm and put it right here.
Okay, great. Let's see. Balazar.
And make it a mental alarm.
Oops, wrong one. There we go. There are 3 sets of smith's tools, 2 sets of mason tools, a single set of jeweler's tools, a small velvet pouch holding like 6 gold bracelets. And make an investigation check.
I will guide myself for the investigation check. Good thing, too. 14.
And that is all you find. So you could take this
Damn.
3 sets of smith's tools
God, I'm still rolling just terrible.
and then 6 gold bands worth. I know you guys will take these gold pieces each.
Do you guys want to come back in here, and then I'll lock up the door behind us?
Well, you broke the first door off the hinges.
I got pythons.
I got pythons.
I want to python the door back together.
Assuming
Well-
I finish ritual casting an alarm, I will.
Okay, so let me add to the inventory.
Aldrim's made of pythons, baby.
Where is it? Party loot.
That's not true. I've got 4 pythons left.
You said the ceilings are 20 feet high?
Mhm.
Okay. So my alarm will cover the ceiling as well.
Let's take 2 quick minutes because I want to get something to drink, and then we'll be right back.
Nope, no drinks for the DM. Gotta stay
I'll remember
immersed.
that.
Well, that's different when I do it.
You're doing it to stay immersed.
Whenever a character takes a drink, I gotta take a drink.
Yeah.
Whenever I get thirsty, the BBEG just takes out a flask.
You know, we could use those iron ingots to maybe distract the rest thingies. There's 12 of them. We just throw an ingot to each of the little rest thingies. That would keep them from attacking us.
Who's carrying the gold ingots? Because those are going to be pretty heavy.
Well, I think we want to leave them here so the rust things don't eat them when we fight them.
I don't think they eat gold.
They eat all metal, I think.
Well, I guess gold is metal, but
And gold does oxidize.
I guess it depends on what they mean by metal.
All metal. Those
Then they'd be eaten
fuckers.
through the rocks as well.
Those pieces of shit. Fucking hate rust monsters.
Well, like we said though, Brian said we know that they're docile normally. Like they don't care about people. They leave people alone. It's that they want to eat metal, and we've got 12 iron ingots, and there's 6 of those rust things down there. We can throw each of them an ingot, go through the door, while they're distracted eating the ingots, and then on our way back out, we've got 6 more ingots. We can throw them the second ingot. Because we're only throwing away 12 gold there. That's not that bad, and that way no one's weapons get destroyed.
I was thinking if someone's carrying on 3 gold ingots, that's like 75 pounds.
I think we leave the gold ingots here until we're about to leave this place, and then we take them at the very end. Because it doesn't make sense to lug those things around.
I tie one to each of my legs, use them as ankle weight.
Clank, clank, clank.
They would
Bastion
be
here?
hidden.
Back when everyone else is back.
Everybody's back, I think.
Everyone back?
I think you're the only one that left.
Okay, well,
Is
good.
Jay back? Jay, are you
I'm
here?
here.
All right.
I never
excellent.
left.
All right. So you have that door in front of you.
I would like to investigate it before you kick it down.
Okay. Go ahead.
And a D4.
Appears to be a regular door. It's
20.
unlocked as best you can tell and untrapped as best you can tell.
Okay. I'll say it's unlocked and go ahead. It appears untrapped.
Wabam!
Don't wabam it, please.
I will it.
As soon as you open the door, Baldrum, directly in front of you is what appears to be a disheveled human. He looks like he hasn't bathed in weeks. His eyes are sunk into his head. He has what appears to be some kind of sharp blades that have been like sewn into his hands, so they are now part of him.
Oh. Hey, buddy!
A 10 misses because he had a prepared attack.
Ah, flints. That word again. He tried to strip your fat from your muscles.
I'd appreciate that, actually. So I wish I could get some fluncing in real life done. Just a light fluncing.
That's what they should call. That's what they should call. That's what they should call plastic surgeons and lipo.
Yeah, fluncers.
Flincers and flincing. Is everybody still there?
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, I said wait a moment.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear.
Also to describe what you see as well, Baldrum. There is a corridor in front of you. On there's a room on the left corridor that the door appears to be open, where this person came from. Directly in front of you, there is another open door right here. There appears to be the remains or a body of some kind on the table mid-desecration. And all around the desk, you can see tables and shelves with all kinds of various knickknacks, jars with liquids in them, kinds of tools, all over that room directly ahead of you. Max.
I'm going to shoot at or use my planar warrior.
All right, so you will have cover.
18.
Just full cover disadvantage, is that right? There's partial cover for 2, and then there's
So
3/4
Full,
cover.
full cover is you can't
You
hit them.
can't shoot at them, right? So 3/4 cover is disadvantage.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so then that would be an 11, which actually still might hit because these guys basically have no armor.
Well,
Hits.
yeah,
That will hit. Yep.
For 17 force damage. And that's it.
Being weird. There we go. The human creature with the hand that had blades affixed to it surgically is impaled by your arrow and seems dead. Balvar?
I'm going to stay behind Baldrum. Probably about right here. I'm gonna send my dancing lights further into the room.
What?
I'm gonna go. They have to stay within 20 feet of each other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send one. Let's see. I'm gonna send one down here, like 4. If there's four squares for it to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna send one there, and then I'm gonna keep the third one right above, right in the kind of the between the two, right here.
Okay. So it does give you regular light conditions in those rooms?
It would give dim light conditions. So
Sure.
for people with dark vision, they would be able to see
Regular
normally.
light, yep.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm going to hold a firebolt in case something comes into something that is clearly hostile comes into view.
Okay. Baldrum, as the arrow whizzes past you, easily killing the creature in front of you, emerging from around the corner in the room ahead of you, appears to be a creature similar to what Burn.
Oh
no, Brian.
You may make your firebolt attack now if you'd like, Aaron.
Don't do it. Run.
That's not gonna hit. On a 10.
A 10 will not hit, no.
Okay. That's it.
Creature appears to be wearing these kind of dark robes. And Baldrum, you hear whispers in your head. And he says, "Kill the Dragonborn behind you." And then he disappears back into the room.
Oh fuck! Is that an int save or wisdom?
I think that's wisdom. That's a fail.
Bally versus Bally.
There's not enough room for 2 BAL characters in this campaign.
Apparently.
I guess those weren't empty threats by Brian.
I know, right?
Man, we could be in Neverwinter right now.
Where's the fun in that?
Alive is the fun in that. Guy just casted an 8th level spell at you. Or level 5.
I'm sure it could get worse.
You guys see the fat rats that you saw in the beginning start to charge towards you. They skitter past Baldrum into the room here. Baldrum, your new best friend has just told you that Balazar needs to die.
I hit him. 13.
That does not hit.
You try to hit him.
That's it.
I think you get to make a new save at the end of your turn. Let's double check.
No, I don't think so. Is it dominate humanoid or dominate monster?
Dominate monster.
Then I don't think so.
I think it's just when you take damage.
Each time you take damage, you do get to make the save though. Yeah. You just saw Baldrum turn around and start attacking Balazar.
Okay, well,
Actually, hold on. I apologize. I skipped somebody. Actually, Baldrum would have been in the way, so it doesn't change anything. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I will start trying to knock Baldrum out of. Well, no, I'll go ahead and attack the fat rat with the with my short bow.
Well, that would most certainly hit. It is a swarm of fat rats, for what it's worth.
14 damage.
Doesn't seem to be quite as effective as you think it would be, but you do pick off a number of the small creatures.
So as a bonus action, I'll have Rex come up and try to bite them.
All right.
Oh, and I
you-
would
you
have had
catch
him
that.
infuse the natural 20.
Oh, go for it. That makes sense.
So an extra 5 of cold damage.
There
Bite
we go.
for 19 to hit
19 hits.
for 4 piercing. And that's it for me.
Max.
I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good on Baldrum. I guess I have to touch him, so I would.
Well, you mean you could go up to him and touch him.
Yeah. Thing is he willing?
Not if I'm dominated.
I
Well,
mean, he didn't say anything
actually-
about me.
Yeah, he said
That
to
is true.
attack me,
He just
not
said kill-
anyone
kill
else.
the Dragonborn behind you. As far as you're concerned, Max is still your friend.
All right.
So, as if they are aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead, they have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. But if you already are charmed, frightened, or possessed, you get advantage on the saving throws against.
Baldrum, as
Okay.
Matt. Well, most importantly, if the target is okay, advantage on A. Perfect. You cast protection from good and evil successfully on Baldrum. That was unless you have more, Max, I don't want to skip you.
I'm gonna move back over here in case he starts trying to attack me. Yeah, that's it.
I am going to attempt to slap Balazar in the face.
Okay.
You just said you're gonna slap You did it. You said you're gonna.
You did.
You said you're gonna
Baldrum,
slap
sorry.
Balazar.
I did. Brian's
hitting
rubbing
yourself?
off on me.
You
I'm
gotta
gonna.
make
Sl-
a
I'm-
strength
Brian, you're a bad
because
influence.
you're not proficient in unarmed.
I don't guess I can use Dex. So in that case, I'll try to slap him across the face with the dagger. That does obviously
That
not
does
hit.
not hit. That is true.
And that's it for me, I guess. I'll actually. No, I won't. I won't move. That would be bad.
The rats swarm all over Rex. Was a 9 hit?
Nope.
And they don't hit. That's it for them. A creature similar to the first one. Looks like a commoner, somebody who might have been from the fishing village, perhaps, though he is clearly dirty and raggedy and hasn't been cared for. Thin, sunken eyes with these blades that have been grotesquely imbued onto their arms. Attacks Balazar.
That's a no.
Baldrum.
I attack Balazar.
I will shield.
That it for you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll keep trying to kill the swarm. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark
All right.
on it, and I will attack it twice with my short bow. 17.
I'm sure that would. Yeah, roll 20 is being really slow.
17 damage.
You get to attack twice.
Level 5 ranger.
Oh shit, that's right. You guys are level 5 now.
Yeah.
Spoopy. All right.
Wait, do I get to attack twice?
Paladin, I would think so. You should get an extra attack at 5th level, right?
Oh my god, I do. I need to make 2 more attacks of Balazar.
All right, go nuts.
I'm gonna smite the crit.
Of course you are.
I mean,
Hey!
you would.
Trying to kill him.
Sorry, Aaron. 11 plus 12, 23.
That
Baldrum
fucking hurt.
impales Balazar in the gut with his trident. He has crazy eyes.
Sorry, sorry, Aaron. It's the way it goes. Not my fault. I don't feel good about it. I regret it a lot. Feels bad.
It's definitely going to change what Balazar does.
But yeah,
Yep,
Rex,
true.
Rex dodges, and that's it for me.
Now,
I really don't like the position I'm in. I will take the attack of opportunities and I move around over here. Yeah. I'll hit.
who's slashing? He just kind of clips you as you go by.
Alright. I guess I would actually just come back here, but I will. Actually, I will take a shot at Baltram.
All right.
17.
17.
That'll hit.
Roll damage and roll a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
No, not the 2. Forget to mark that up. So
The 15 saves.
15 does save. Baldrum, you, as Maximilian hits you in the thigh with an arrow, your head kind of unclouds and you see dragon-born blood all down your trident and Balazar with a gaping wound.
Sorry.
Balazar.
I still get a second attack though.
Oh, you do?
I shoot Baltram. Nah.
I mean,
Do
I
I?
don't know if you guys would know or not, honestly.
You can make an insight check.
I guess I'll make an insight.
You don't see it.
I would shoot Baltram again then.
It's not a crit at least. Oh, but that
It is
hurt.
max damage.
Yeah, well, wouldn't it be a dick move if you crit your friend? That'd be
It would be.
Yeah.
Terrible.
that'd be a mean thing to do.
Especially to add on extra stuff onto the crit.
Well,
Not the
I
battle.
don't think you can do that.
Balazar, you saw the clouds from Baldrum's eyes unglaze over and him kind of grunting from the damage that Max did to him.
Which is good, because I was reaching my hand up to vampiric touch you.
Don't mind if I borrow some of this HP, do you?
Exactly. That's worth a shot. I'm gonna cast Sleep on the Rat Swarm.
All right. Let me see.
Ew. Dog shit roll.
They have 14 hit points as a swarm left.
They're asleep
They-
then.
They are asleep. And they don't get to make any kind of saves until they're, unless they're awoken, right?
Yeah, they're just asleep. And I will risk the attacker of opportunity to move away from Flincer.
He can't. He already did it on Max.
Nice, cool. I move away from Flincer.
You see the Mind Flayer move up to the end of the corridor.
Here comes his psionic blast or whatever.
Unless he's not eating our brains.
Yet.
And he pulls from underneath his cloak what appears to be a canister, and he throws it at Balazar.
Oh no.
Balazar, Baldrum.
Balazar.
From around the corner?
11 misses. Now we're going to see where it lands.
Does he know when the Dominate monster is broken?
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
concentrating on it.
Okay. Ah, okay.
I will use my reaction to cast
that's
Featherfall on it so that it hits the ground very softly and does not break.
Can you target objects with Featherfall or only creatures?
I think you can target objects. Let me
Put it up
post
there,
it.
Let's see. You or a
Creatures.
creature. So it lands. on
Sorry,
the ground
Aaron.
Right
Well,
there.
technically that's a gas
missed.
canister mimic, so it is a creature.
Oh, he missed with the
An
gas
air
cannon,
mimic.
so it did not hit Balazar. It lands on the ground next to him, and this square is currently filled with some kind of a green, smoking mist. And then he disappears down into this room down here. They're sleeping. This one turns and attacks Baldwin.
Fuck you.
15 hits.
Yeah.
5 slashing damage. Baldrum.
I'm going to move away from this thing after Scooty Boy.
All right, one moment.
And
Hold on.
Oh, I forgot to. You do not have protection from good and evil anymore.
okay,
Because I took 2 damage from
Is this a
the
door?
There's a closed door there.
okay, I'm gonna dump 20 lay on hands points into myself.
All right.
And fuck boy up here could take an opportunity attack.
I don't think he can, actually. I think he already did.
No, because he had a turn sense,
Oh, did he? Okay.
but he missed. Leah.
I guess I will shoot the commoner looking person. I'll bonus action and move my hunter's mark over to it.
Yep, those will both hit. Commoner only has 4 hit points, so
Just wondering, did the camera look like how Baldrum looked when he was being controlled?
no. They look a
Okay.
little bit different.
I will come into here. Do I see anything? Okay. Correct. Down here. And that's it for me.
Max?
Trying to decide if I should shoot these rats or not that are sleeping.
They're asleep. Like, if you shoot them, they'll wake up.
Yeah. If we wait long enough, they're gonna wake up anyways.
I mean,
Yeah.
does it say how long they're asleep for?
1
A
minute.
minute.
So 10 rounds.
So 10 rounds.
I guess I will come over here and I will hold an attack for down here next to Baldrum if I see something come at him. And
Okay.
that's it.
Balazar?
I will move. I think that's as far as I would be able to go moving through friendlies.
Yep.
And, what's the range? 60 feet. As I was passing As I was passing Max, I would cast knock on this door just in case it were locked.
Okay, post knock for me. Now that you've seen, now you can get box, yeah, blah, 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 try that it's held shut from an unlocked, unstuck from far. Okay, so if that door was locked, it is now unlocked.
Yes.
You guys hear a loud boom, 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 boom echo through the mines. Is that it for you?
That is it for me.
That is how many rounds they've been sleeping. The rats.
Okay.
Followed them.
Kapow! Open the door.
Mm-hmm. $15 hit.
Yeah.
As you open the door, you feel the tentacles of the creature's face wrap around you.
Uh-oh.
You are currently grappled,
Uh-oh.
and you need to make an intelligence saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Does a 7 do it?
A 7 does not. You are currently stunned until the grappled ends, and you take 11 psychic damage.
That's awesome. I think I'm dead.
Leah?
We might all be dead here. I think this thing might be able to kill all of us.
I'll step to here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a clear shot at him?
Not a clear shot, but
I
you
guess
do have
can I
a
move
shot.
to here and shoot at him?
You can definitely shoot at him. He's just going to have cover. There'll be a disadvantage.
Great.
And he is taller than the dwarf, so. You see the tentacles kind of wrapped around Baldrum's head and neck, and Baldrum just looks frozen in place, his kind of eyes rolling back into his head.
And 23.
23 definitely hits. 13 does not.
So 9 damage. And as a bonus action, I'm going to have Rect go in, and I want him to try to leap at the creature and try to shove it back. Can he do that?
Okay. I think that would be a grapple attack, basically. I mean,
He's
are you
gonna
trying
try.
to-
He's gonna try
are you
to.
trying explicitly to break the grapple? Is that what he's trying to accomplish?
More. I want to push it back into the room so we have more room to enter and surround it.
Okay.
But yeah, sure. Breaking the grapple would be great, but
Well, was the priority pushing him, or is the priority breaking the grapple?
pushing him back into the room.
Okay. So if I recall,
So Rex would get a 13.
is it just, do you have to roll to hit first with grappling? I always forget, or is it just a straight opposed?
I think
Well,
if,
this
it's a
would
shove,
be-
if it's a shove, I imagine it's probably just
You roll a
straight opposed.
contested ability check instead of rolling to hit. Okay. So it'd be an athletics check. Or strength. And then he can roll either dex or strength, if I recall. Or it's either athletics or
I think it's just straight
acrobatic.
athletics.
No, the recipient can choose acrobatics or athletics. And then the attacker takes athletics. Is that right,
Alright.
Thomas?
For shove, they can do.
The attacker is always athletics. You can defend with
and the
athletics
defender
or
can choose,
acrobatics.
All right.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Okay, well, I don't know where that leaves, because he would have gone to here to shove, so where does that leave Rex now? Back here? Or...
Yeah.
Alright.
Does Rex have a flying thing?
No. He's got wings, but he's only got a 40-foot
Does he have a size?
small.
Then he can occupy the same space as me.
Yep, so he's standing under Baldrum's legs, basically.
Okay, we'll put him there then.
There you go. Max,
How tall are ceilings? Is it 20 feet?
20 feet.
Is that the same for the doorway?
No, doorway is like a regular doorway. So what is a doorway? 12 feet, I think. These are the most typical doorways, 10, 12 feet.
Okay.
He is taller than Baldrum, though, so you can shoot at him.
Yeah.
You're just going to be undercover.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk up 10 feet and then walk around and basically stand above Leodell and shoot at it.
Okay. So it's a disadvantage because he has cover.
Okay. So Leodell would, if you see me, I'm just standing straight sideways above you on the wall. 15 and 27.
Both
Using
hit?
Play to Warrior.
Both.
And marking him as my favorite foe.
Yep.
So for 28 force damage.
He really doesn't like that.
And that'll be it.
Balazar,
Is there anywhere I can stand to see him?
you could go take one step back to your right, where the dead thrall is,
Okay,
and
You
I'm
could
going
also
to
stand
cast.
next to Leodell.
I'm going to cast Levitate on him. He needs to make a con save.
All right.
DC is not 13. DC is 14. Or of course he does. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. That's it for me.
on his turn. So when a creature is grappled, you can drag him, but it's half your speed, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3. He's going to drag Baldrum with him. And because he is stunned, the attack is he make an attack. Baldrum is at advantage. Is that correct?
Yep.
Well, it was nice when you guys nice playing with you. Yep, my brain
Oh
gets
my
ripped
God.
out.
Yeah,
I'm dead.
you're dead.
Baldrum's dead.
You see him literally slurp Baldrum's brain out through his ears and the top of his skull, and he slumps on the ground.
I don't think we can
Man, he'd be
retcon
so
that.
he'd be so grumpy about that. How much damage is that? Hang on, that's over 100 damage, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes, it is.
103.
That's 103 damage. Whew! What a way to go, though.
Even if I was at full health, that would be 1 more or 2 more hit points.
Well, if nothing else, this will set up a compelling villain.
You're up, Leah.
Wait, did
Alright,
Baldrum get a? Baldrum doesn't get a chance to save against the stun.
Nope. Well, he did get it. He missed this. He missed it.
I mean, like at the end of his turn.
No. I'm
Bon-
stunned until the grapple
bonus
ends.
Yeah.
Bonus
Until the grapple
action.
The
Hunter's
target can
Mark.
take a saving throw at the
Oh no,
end
the
of each of
target
his
can take a
turns.
saving throw at the end of each of his turns. You did have a turn before he came up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, make
Oh,
a
what-
saving throw, Baldrum. We might
Oh,
be able to. We
Is
might
it,
be able
is
to.
it an in
retcon it.
save?
It is an in save.
No, I'm dead.
No.
DC 15.
Yep.
All right. Well, we tried.
So yeah, bonus action, Hunter's Mark, and I'll attack with my short bow again twice.
All right. 21 hits, 15 hits.
$19 damage? No, that's wrong. 16, 21, 29 damage.
He seems very wounded.
Rex will come up here and dodge.
Max.
I'm going to walk down off the wall, move forward. Let's see, that's 10, 15, 20. I will shoot at him twice.
All right.
25 and 13.
25 hits, 13 does not.
Alright, use Blade of Warrior as normal. 10 force damage.
He looks pretty messed up.
I'll then take a step back after I just saw what happened.
Balazar?
Oh, I really wish you hadn't taken that step back. Wait, I would be able to.
You can move past him.
Yeah, I'd be able to move to right here. I think that would be 25. So I would lose 5 feet moving through him, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
That's your 30 to get you there.
I will. I'm gonna 3rd level magic missile him.
All right.
So that'll be 6 missiles, I think.
It's 3, 4, 5, I believe, right? Because it's 3 at first, so 4, 5. 2 extra levels, second and third.
Okay. Okay, 10, 15, 26 damage.
Well, 1, 2, 3. You rolled 6 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I rolled 6.
You
I
did.
rolled 6? I meant to roll 5. Okay, so
three,
one of the. So 21.
Is
You either
Thomas
rolled
back
a
yet?
4 or 2.
No, I think Thomas is still AFK.
We'll wait for Thomas.
This is old school levels of lethal, Brian.
So on your magic missile rolls, you rolled max damage on 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
When Thomas gets back, I just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
I was not expecting it to do that much damage.
I'm not
Well,
surprised.
should we go ahead and take a little break since we're waiting?
Sure, let's take a 5-er.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Alright, be right back to you.
We took a 5-er because we were waiting for you, Thomas.
Oh, what do we need me for?
Because I didn't think it would be appropriate to do this without you here.
I was just getting some snacks.
I'm back.
I think we're just waiting for Jay.
I am back.
Waiting on Jay, then we will resume. This music. It's pretty good.
So, Thomas, if you had been wearing your studded leather or medium, I don't think his tentacles would have hit you.
What did he roll?
15.
15.
If I was wearing medium, he wouldn't hit me.
Yeah.
I don't have studded leather.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
15 probably still would have hit you unless you have 18 dex. What is your dex modifier?
2.
Oh, so you only have a 13 IC then.
Well, I have a shield.
Oh, okay, so 15.
Yep.
So he matched. Feels bad.
And also, maybe if that protection from good and evil was still on him, he passes one of those saves with advantage.
What?
And one would have with the first one? The first one would have passed with advantage.
He would have still had that.
Well, no, Max failed a concentration save and then spell dropped.
Oh, really?
Yep, I rolled a 9 on my con save.
Oh, that feels bad.
It's when I moved after and took the attack of opportunity for 2 damage.
That feels super bad.
Yeah.
And the dice just hate us this game. It's not even just this session, it's this entire game.
Well, the dice didn't hate you on that last roll, Aaron.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the attack would have missed because he would have had disadvantage against Thomas.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Because mind flayers are aberrations.
And they're definitely evil.
Yep.
I also wasn't sure if they were aberrations or fiends or whatnot, so I wasn't 100% sure if that would work.
It was a good call.
It was a very good call.
Yeah, they're not fiends. But they are 100% aberrations.
100% bitches.
I'm sorry, Thomas.
Don't. I respect you less if you apologize.
You should apologize. You should have been power kill.
There's no way the mind flayer wouldn't have just devoured your brain.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't fucking apologize to me ever again.
I love Baldrum, though. He's such a good character.
Well, now he's gone, Brian. Move on.
In a blaze.
Get over it. He's dead. He's dead. We're not talking about him anymore. Get over it. Move on.
The crit on the extract brain, though, like, oh god.
Can I have a character sheet, Brian?
Let's just put icing on the cake there. Hey,
I mean,
Thomas,
not like
my
it would have
second
really
character?
mattered.
No, but it makes it even more brutal.
Yeah.
All right,
I can give you my second character idea if you want it, Thomas.
No, I think I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
There you go, Thomas. So
Thank you.
I'm going to post this. As Balazar runs in the room, fires bolts of arcane energy at this creature. They slam into him, and he slumps against the wall. Whoop. We lose Jay. Jay's back.
Oh, we had exactly 21 health left.
Nice.
That's funny. I know what I'm doing.
Are we going out of turn order?
There's no more baddies that you can tell.
Well, there's still these rats.
That's true. You guys, I'm sure, can go in there and just murder face the rats if you want. To.
I already came up with my character name, Brian.
I mean, hypothetically, it's a swarm of dead rats. You could argue that Max could just individually coup de grace them one at a
Yeah, I
time.
mean, you guys can just walk in there and just murder them. Like,
Okay.
Take an
so-
arrow, stab each one.
Am I still starting at level 5, Brian?
yes.
What happens if we put his brain back in his head? Does he come back
He
to
does
life?
not have
the
a
thi-
brain.
the thing ate it.
He ate the brain.
Oh. I didn't
He
realize
literally
ate it,
ripped the
like,
brain out of Baldrum's skull and
and
ate it.
devoured it.
Balazar is gonna.
Did he chew it or just slurp it down?
Went straight down.
So we could just cut open the stomach and it might still be there fully intact.
Sure, you
Might
can
have a little
try.
bit of brain damage from stomach acid, but it'll be fine.
Balazar is going to put a hand on Leodel's shoulder and say,
I am not knowing what manner of evil this creature is, but we are owing it to Baldrum to find out what it is, what it wants, why it is here. I am sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'd like to study the creature, see if I can try to understand what it is, and
Okay, make a medicine check.
I will assist you and guide you.
I assume they're doing that while I'm killing the rats. I'm also gonna put a arrow through the heads of each of these people, just in case a brain tries to come out of them.
As you're inspecting the creature, Leodel, you realize it's still breathing.
okay. I want to try to remove its head.
You're just gonna decapitate it.
Yes.
Easily done. The creature is no longer breathing.
Okay.
I just imagine I walk back in from stabbing all these people right when that happens.
I mean, you did exactly as much damage as it had hit points, so I actually rolled death saving throws for it.
Okay.
Didn't know what you guys would do with it, but taking no chances, probably smart.
I don't think we care what this thing has to say, and like character-wise, I don't think we care what this thing has to say. Lore-wise, Aaron knows that this thing wouldn't say anything useful.
Well,
Should we?
I'll try to kill you guys again.
It
mean-
definitely would.
I mean,
Should we put an arrow through its head or something to make sure the brain doesn't come crawling out like the other people did?
no, I think we want this head intact to bring back to the.
In this room you guys are in, there's a number of terribly uncomfortable looking beds that have shackles on them. And each one of them has buckets where prisoners have been relieving themselves, and this room reeks.
Balazar is going to come to this other room, and does it appear that this guy has been having an autopsy done to him?
Something like that. It looks like he was being experimented on or having some kind of exploratory surgery. The scene is extraordinarily gruesome.
Is his head open?
Let's see. No, it looks like he was in the process of starting to supplement his arms with metal blades. His head is not open.
Okay. I'm gonna thoroughly look through the room, see what all these things are, all that jazz.
Make an investigation check.
And did we get a description of all the missing people, or were we just told that they were missing?
You are aware there are some missing people.
Okay, so we would know if these were those missing people or not.
The only one you know of specifically by name was Burns' father.
18 investigation.
Balazar, looking at the corpse on the table, it has a resemblance to Burn. You would not be surprised if that were his father on the table.
Hmm. And he is dead.
He is very dead.
Nobody lives in this campaign, not even us.
When I
Right.
reach down and feel these people, do they feel cold, like they've been dead for a while?
No, they are fresh corpses. I'll tell you what you find in 1 second.
As he's doing that, I'm also gonna pick up all these dead bodies and put them in one of the mining carts, so we can take them back with us. Assuming these still have wheels on them.
They do, they're rusted, but
Nothing a little prestidigitation can't clear up. Now comes the question, though. We just lost one of our number.
Do we continue or?
But
Go back.
there's a lot more. There's a lot more to explore here. I don't know if, like, we can't know if this is the extent, or if there's more of them down here. But if there's more of them down here, do we want to even take them on as just 3?
No.
Yeah.
Even at 4 at our level, we didn't want to take this one on.
Yeah.
So if there's more down here, we go back to the king and we tell him, look, this is your problem. You know, this, and maybe more landed here, but this is out of our league. This is not what we signed up for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
We killed the one. Hopefully that's all there was. But if there's more, you're going to have to send an army into that damn mine to take care of it.
Or some people who are more prepared to deal with this than we are.
Is that a breastplate, cloak, and full face mask thing look anything like the armor or whatever that this thing had on?
No, because it's a full mask. Like, it covers your face in its entirety. But it looks like it would fit him.
There.
Okay, let me.
I would point that out to Balazar.
Let me add this stuff to the party loot. Okay, so we have adamantine ingots.
Good thing Snicket is in here. Or Snicket. I don't remember which one it is. There's a
Snicket.
similar.
Snicket really wanted adamantine. He wanted all the adamantine.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Baldrum as well as I can. Realize it's not going to be pretty, but
I would come in here and let you know that I put the other bodies in a cart in here if you want to put them in there as well when we
Sure.
take them back.
yeah, I'll gather up Baldrum's things and then gather up what's left of his body. I'll bring it back to the cart
Right?
along with the head of this thing.
All right.
Dump the head in there.
Where to now?
I guess we're gonna push this cart out of the mine.
All right, takes a little bit of doing because it's so rusted, but between the three
I
of
use
you,
prestidigitation to remove all the rest.
there you go. You managed to get it up there. The cart can go basically to the top here. And then you're going to have to kind of drag these bodies through the small hole that you've created to climb in here. It's not pretty, but you all are able to do so. And you are now outside the mine entrance.
How far away are we from town?
About an hour.
Yeah, not quite an hour. It's a little bit closer than an hour, say
Say-
45 minutes or so. Yeah.
We have 5 bodies to move.
Yeah.
Four bodies to move.
4 and a half.
I could probably put 1 or 2 of them on Rex, and he could probably carry some of them.
Okay. Balazar is strong enough to carry 1 by himself, I think. I mean, we'll probably be half movement, so it'll probably take 2 hours to get back to town. But
Right.
Yep. That sounds about right. You guys eventually.
I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to carry 1.
what's your strength score?
7.
I'll
Well,
guide you.
Slowly, I imagine.
I can
Yes.
carry 105 pounds.
You guys eventually arrive back in town. And of course, everyone immediately recognizes the people you've brought as local townspeople, and the man that you found in the room on the desk was indeed Byrne's father. Westra is just grief-stricken. She's lost her whole family. Thorum offers to commit Baldrum to the sea if you would like.
I am thinking that is how he would wish to be buried.
So they gently take his remains and they bring him to the beach, and they wrap him in white linens, and they put him on a boat, on a wooden board, just like the first one you saw. That evening, the whole town comes out dressed in simple clothing, with torches that blow in the oceanside wind, and they load him onto a boat. And as the boat is rowed out into the ocean, this poor woman of the town singer, has been so busy lately. She sings once again the funeral music of her people. Whoops, that's not the wrong one. Wait, no, that's the right one. They set Baldrum's wrapped body on the ocean waves, and they put a torch onto the oil-soaked linens, and it sets fire, burns away the board beneath his body, and the remains slowly sink into the ocean, leaving a small oil fire on the surface of the ocean. And once again, this time it's Thorum who says the prayer to the ancestors. Hail to the day, hail to the sons of day, hail to the night and the night's daughters, hail to the great Tempest, hail to the mighty Thalos, hail to the Lathander who gives life to us all, hail to the Northmen, hail to Valkur, and hail to you, our blessed dead. Stand with us if you will, smile on us if you will, and may peace be with us for all time. And Baldrum's remains are laid to rest. what is the plan for the party now?
How early in the day is it?
You guys probably went early in the morning. So an hour there, 2 hours back. You guys were pretty meticulous inside, so I don't know, for sake of discussion, say an hour inside.
Well,
so
The
Well, they
funeral
would've-
you said.
the funeral would have
funeral's
been in
at
the evening, so they would have used the early afternoon.
Okay.
Funeral would have been after dark, so it's probably something, like 7-ish in the evening by the time the services are done.
We should be resting for the night and going back to the king tomorrow, yes?
Sounds good to me.
And I imagine we probably would have given them back the armor, the breastplate and everything, right? That belonged to. It looked like it belonged to the people that lived there.
The kind of strange one that you found? The one
Well-
that I said is constructed of a biological material? That was not the locals. No, definitely not.
I would actually want to cast Identify on that.
Also, did we find any hands in this area?
You did
Were
not.
there? Would I be able to surmise that the hands that we found in the ship below are probably from these people?
No,
No.
because their hands were not severed; they were augmented.
Ah, okay.
The armor is not magical. Identify has no effect.
Okay. Well, we can hang on to it.
Well, and doesn't Identify give you information on it, even if it's not magical?
Post a spell. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong, certainly.
All right. One moment.
So are you guys leaving the cave?
They've
We
already.
already
left.
did.
If the spell is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties,
Yeah,
whether.
and it is not. You need legend lore to know more about what the.
What the spell? It is not a. Actually, you know what? Let's hit the old Googler just to be sure.
Okay. The Google.
Yeah.
Max kind of wants to try it on. Does it look like it would fit me?
Yeah, you
prob-
could wear it. It would fit you.
I would probably
Well,
go with the belt. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to. I'm going to say it would work because it would probably have to be augmented in some way. So maybe it would be. It's kind of vague, but
Yeah. Not magical in nature, but created by magic.
sure. Yeah, augmented by magic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Equivalent to non-magical half plate. 15
Interesting.
plus 2 decks. I would not put it on. Although, what I was thinking about putting it on, I was going to cast Protection of Good and Evil on myself before I put it on.
Is it considered medium armor?
No, it's half plate, but it's got other equivalents. It has other stuff it does. It's the equivalent of non-magical
Right.
half plate for armor purposes. So it's half plate medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If half plate, then it's medium. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the highest AC.
it's the
we
heaviest of
have.
the medium armors. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best medium armor, arguably. It and breastplate, it depends on whether you want disadvantage on stealth or not. Interesting.
Are you guys taking off the next day then?
I would imagine, yeah.
As long as Leota wants to. I would probably defer to her since if she needs time to
Yeah.
grief or anything else.
No. I mean, she would have taken her time to grieve over the day and when they did the ceremony, but then after that, we've got a job to do.
She's a person of action.
I feel like Baldrum would have been like wrecking all the bars.
She's sad, but I mean, she's not, you know. Her only decent mental stat is wisdom. You know.
Cut to Thomas just burning backstory pages.
If it was Max who died, Baldrum would be breaking all the bars, but in a different way. He'd be celebrating instead of mourning.
So the party sets off the next day. You say your goodbyes. Thorum does give you a rolled up, sealed parchment to pass on to King Redgrave from him.
It's sealed. Okay.
It has a seal on it. So you take your 3 days of travel.
Sealed as in has a seal, and sealed also as in enclosed.
No, it's like rolled up and has a seal on it.
We could read it though.
Not you would have to break the seal to read it, or
Okay, then I
choose somehow to seal it.
So okay, it has a seal and is also sealed. Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I would not break the seal, of course.
So it takes the 3 days of hiking back through the mountains. And you arrive back in the city of Gunbarg. Are you going to go straight to the king?
I would imagine so, yes.
Sounds good.
Let me find this here. There we go. So you arrive at the port town of Gunbarg. The weather has continued to improve over the last couple days as winter is beginning to give rise to spring. You make your way to Stonerise Keep, where you're only made to wait a short while before being shown back past the ruined outer walls and into the Great Hall of King Red Axe. Let me see. As promised, he asks for the details of what happened up there over a feast he throws in your honor.
Wait, they get a feast for that?
Yep.
Bullshit.
A hero's feast.
Baldrum was here, it wouldn't be a hero's feast anymore.
So he asks a lot of questions. Is there anything you guys are not going to tell him, or are you going to be truthful in all your answers?
I would be truthful in all of my answers.
I don't see why we would leave anything out.
And we would, of course, show him the head of the Illithid.
Sure. You guys also get 500 gold pieces to split amongst you as part of the reward for the investigation. He introduces you to his very pregnant wife, one Queen Arvid, as part of the celebration. Do you deliver the letter from Thorum to him?
Yes.
All right. He reads it, and he kind of looks at the three of you with a raised eyebrow, and carries on with the feast. He asks to see the map with the cities blotted out on it.
I'll
Can
show
I
him.
insight check his eyebrow raising?
Sure.
I'd like to as well, if that's all right.
He was interested in something.
I rolled a 20.
You get the vibe that he was surprised at the contents of the letter.
But we
And
we don't know the contents of the letter.
You do not know the contents of the letter.
And this,
do that
he's
later.
surprised at the contents of the letter after everything we've told him.
Correct.
Okay.
He mourns the death of Jarl Frostgale, offers you his condolences, of course, for the loss of your friend. Did you guys show him the map?
Yep.
He says, well, if Baldrum felt that this was the mark for a pirate attack, it would be very ambitious for them to attack cities of this size, but I feel we should at least warn them. I can order one of my ships to take you wherever you choose if you choose to go to one of these cities and warn the leaders of said cities of pending attack.
I imagine that it wouldn't be necessarily required for us to go in person. We could just simply send a letter.
You could do that as well if you choose to. The 3 cities were Neverwinter, Waterdeep, and what was the other one?
Baldur's Gate, I think it was.
Was it Baldur's Gate? I think you're right. And it was Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate, and Waterdeep.
Like the 3 biggest cities in the Sword Coast.
I mean, we're unless anyone has any objections, I think our destination is Neverwinter, so we could probably deliver that one. But the others, I imagine we would want to send word.
Sure. Well, I will make one of my ships at your disposal to bring you there. And let me see anything else.
Do they have means of, like, I don't know, Raven or something to spend?
They do not.
Letters,
No, not here.
okay.
It'd have to be by ship for that kind of distance, I think.
Okay.
Yep. It's a
So yeah, we're
few
talking
days
about
time.
going to Neverwinter and then maybe just letting them know and letting the leaders of Neverwinter get the word out.
Yep. He thanks you, of course, and says you're always welcome in his small island kingdom, and considers you friends of his people. And he says, at Jarl Thorum's request, tomorrow, before first light, he requests your presence back here at Stonerise Keep, and you must come unarmed and unarmored, in the simplest of clothes, and he'll see you in the morning.
I would like to insight check that as well.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
actually not insight check it. I would just ask for what reason.
I guess I would inside check whatever his response to Leodell's question is then.
It's an oddly
says-
specific request.
It is. He says, Jarl Thorum has made a request on your behalf to have you partake in an ancient ceremony of our people, and given the services you have provided to us and great loss to yourselves, I think it's a good request, and I've chosen to honor it. However, the grounds where the ceremony take place are sacred, and we must come as close to only ourselves as possible when we are inside.
With my inside check, do I feel like he's being truthful and not leaving anything out?
Seems like he's being truthful.
Okay.
I will do this.
Agreed.
We'll be there.
So you have rooms at the Dragon Turtle Inn, still a courtesy of King Red Axe for one more night. They do tell you which ship that you'll be departing on the next day.
But yeah, I guess we would just schedule it for after whatever the ceremony is the next day. For
I
the
would, yeah.
ship to leave.
Yep, because they want you going right away to warn their allies from the Lord's Alliance that they are in danger.
Okay.
After we meet with the king, I would like to go to the Saltwood Storehouse.
Okay. Hold on one moment.
Well, we've also got loot that we should probably distribute.
We may not be able to sell it all until we get to dinner.
Well, sure, but at least the raw coinage and
Sure.
Yeah. Gotta make sure
Plus-
we distribute before Thomas's new character gets in here, so he doesn't get any of it.
He's almost
Right.
ready.
well, plus we should also. I mean, I did take all of the stuff off of Baldrum's corpse, so we should probably add that to the party loot.
I'm actually not almost ready. I actually have to talk to Brian about this character so that I know it's allowed.
Sure.
Not that I want to be insensitive, but waste not, want not.
You just start looting.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, I like this. It's nice. All right, so you go to Saltwood Storehouse. With the weather improving, there's more patrons in there than otherwise. The harbor looked pretty busy too, so it seems like just the city happens to be a little bustling right now. You just gonna go back to Granny Saltwood?
I am going to Granny Saltwood.
Okay.
I would go with him. Try and help smooth things over.
Granny Saltwood is there when you arrive. And she's very happy to see Max and seems fairly indifferent about Balazar. The room is, of course, cold when you enter with just a little bit of very cold salt water along the floor. Her 3 sea cubs are yipping around at her feet. It's like, oh, Max, what can I do for you?
Hello there,
Granny.
Granny.
I am wishing to ask you a question.
You may ask me anything you may not like the answer.
In our travels, we are having discovered a ship under the waves. There was a being inside. Long dead.
I can't remember the name of the ship.
Golden Crown.
The ship is being named the Golden Crown. Do you know who this person may be?
Oh. It took me a minute to know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that ship's been long destroyed off the coast long before I came here. I don't know anything about it other than it's there.
Insight check. With guidance is a 20.
Seems honest.
Well, I appreciate you answering. Perhaps in Neverwinter I can learn more.
All right. So anything else while you're in town for the day?
I would say goodbye to Granny. Tell her that we're leaving tomorrow.
Oh, no, I'll miss you. Be sure to visit me if you're ever back in town.
It'll be one of the first things I do.
Such a nice young man. And you guys
Oh.
off?
While we're there, how about just at a cursory glance, because it's kind of in the neighborhood. How bumpin' does the pirate bar look? Is it?
It would be early afternoon by the time you guys got out of there and went around, so medium bumping.
Yeah, but does it look more active just in general than the last time we were in town?
Club is
A
jumping.
little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot of it, but a little bit.
All right.
There it is. So you guys return to the Dragon Turtle Inn, have a meal.
Oh no, Baldrum was a father. Oh no. He's so bitter because he got divorced. Or Mama died, or maybe Mama and daughter died. We'll never know.
Maybe you will, who knows?
Maybe the next character is his daughter coming to look for him.
Maybe. Baldette.
Or the mother coming to take it back.
Valadette, actually.
Yeah.
Baladette.
No Balazette.
Oh God.
So you guys go to the Dragon Turtle Inn. You have a nice meal. Get a headache from the twins. Drink a little bit. Maybe share stories. And the next morning, get up before sunrise. And you arrive in just boots and your nightgown. Like, what are you showing up in?
I would wear my normal robes, but I would not have any weapons on me.
I would just be in like a plain white shirt that I wear under my armor all the
Yep.
time, and just some regular pants, I guess.
All right. You arrive at the keep.
I guess I wouldn't have my jacket. I'd have like like my character art. I would have pants, but just no jacket.
So the next morning, you arrive at the keep, where you're escorted into the main hall, and then taken off to a side room, led down a set of stone stairs to a double door, a wooden door, and just outside the door is King Red Axe. He appears to be wearing only a simple set of robes, like white, plain cotton robes, basically. He asks you all to remove your shoes and basically anything but, like, pants and a shirt, like, is basically as plain clothes as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do so, a woman comes over with this kind of a bowl that has some paint in it, and she sticks her thumb in it and kind of paints each of your face, down part of your chest, puts some symbols on there. And then she leaves, leaving only the four of you. King Red Axe opens the double doors leading into a wooden room with candles and a fire pit in the middle. There's banners and various iconography all over the walls. And you all kind of sit down around this fire. You're kind of inhaling some kind of an incense, and you get the feeling it has maybe a little bit of a hallucinogenic effect. You get kind of a little lightheaded, feel a little bit otherworldly. And as King Red Axe breathes in the smoke, he tells you about the beliefs of his people and how they're a warrior's culture, and they always want to stay in touch with their ancestors. And typically this is done through they connect to their ancestors through their weapons. And so one by one he asks of you, which of your weapons do you feel most connected with?
My mind.
All right.
Longbow.
Yeah.
Nice short
Leah?
bow.
He breathes deeply as you close your eyes and then open them, and he says the ceremony is complete. And he gives each of you a very strong hug and shows you out of the temple. Oh, you know what? I am terrible, though, because I should have been playing this music the whole time. God, I suck. And that is where the session will end today.
So they have to go rescue me, right, Brian?
I don't know that there's much to rescue.
Avernus.
Are you in Avernus?
I don't know, probably. Oh,
Odin was
man.
a bad man.
What? I wouldn't have wanted to do anything during their ritual, but at the same time, Balazar would have been very curious and wanted to know if there was anything magical going on. would he be able to make like
That was
an
very
Arcana
rude,
check?
Bot. Yes, you definitely feel there was something going on.
Okay.
Well, Aaron, you're the party loot manager. Are you willing to distribute the loot?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, everybody gets 3 torches.
So 1 torch a person.
No, I had 9 torches. Everybody gets 3.
Oh, okay.
Each of you gets a third of a bedroll.
Dibs on the bottom half.
So how much gold did you have?
'Cause it's
Oh,
hard
what?
when
I
you're
died the
supposed to-
session before I got my cool trident, Brian? You bastard.
So, Aaron, in your case, you're going to have to decide on some kind of weapon. There is stuff for mages in there.
Did you send me something?
Look in the info channel.
Brian, before you go to bed, if you'd like to spend 5 minutes with me in chat, I'd like to pitch a character to
Absolutely.
you.
Let me briefly do a session summary and then
No
we'll be
problem.
available.
And it's okay to say no.
No.
Weapon creation rules. Ancestral weapons.
I won't be offended. I came up with this idea approximately 60 seconds after Baldrum died, so I'm not invested in it yet.
All right, good to know.
You want me to keep recording while we do loot distribution, or you think that's not very important for us to?
I don't think that's very important.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to stop recording and start uploading. So, goodbye,
Sounds
future
glorious.
us.